Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Moore.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi. That's nice. That makes me, this is one of those days when I could use a little encouragement. Did you ever have one of those days you get up in the morning and, the toothpaste tube bends in the middle and the lion snarls on your yo-yo and the kids have swallowed the tickets and, it's one of those days. But things have got to get better, even though our first guest is a fella who does nothing more than just fiddle around. But wait till you see him fiddle around. Meanwhile, let's meet hello to our panel right here on To Tell the Truth.
Tom Poston. Peggy Cass. Bill Cullen. And Kitty Carlisle.
We got a hot team going for us here this morning.
Oh, thank you.
We have our regulars, Kitty Carlisle, Peggy Cass, and Bill Cullen.
And what am I? What does that make me? Very irregular.
We have this slightly irregular Tom Poston.
Well, there's one person up there who's not applauding when they said. Why isn't it?
He's slightly irregular, but his psychiatrist is working on it and says he'll be all right in a very short while.
He's asked if I could please appear on the panel lying down. My psychiatrist says I could do much better if I could just lie down here and ask questions.
We'll get you a couch,
yes,
Tom. Now let's meet the lady who makes a vacation out of going to the dentist.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Louise Shaw.
Number two.
My name is Louise Shaw.
Number three.
My name is Louise Shaw.
And listen, if you will, to the dental declaration of Louise Shaw. This is what it says. I, Louise Shaw, love to go to the dentist, and getting there is half the fun. Here's the story. I just whip off to the airport and catch a plane to Germany. Once in Deutschland, I get my dental work done, have a bit of a European vacation, and come home with a total bill about half of what my dentist's fee would have been here in the United States. And that includes my airfare. It all has proved such a happy arrangement that my husband and daughter have followed my example, and now we all go to the same dentist, 5,000 miles away. Here's another fringe benefit to my long-distance dental plan. My airfare counts as a deductible medical expense. Signed, Louise Shaw. And somewhere down in Washington, there's a man with the International Revenue Service with a pencil, and he's listening very carefully. Let's start the questioning with Bill Cullen.
Yeah, Louise, number two, how did you first get this idea of going to Germany to have your teeth taken care of?
Well, about 10 years ago, we lived in Germany. My husband built a plant over there.
Uh-huh.
And we had a number of friends there. And so when I developed these dental problems, I thought, why don't I find someone over there through one of my friends, which is what I did.
All right, now, number one, you mentioned that this whole thing, including your airfare, which is deductible, at least until this time, you mentioned the whole thing is less expensive than having the dental work done over here. Is that because the dental work is that much less expensive in Germany?
Yes, yes.
For instance, well, I don't know what how much is a filling? Well, how much dental work do you have done when you go there? Is it just sort of checkup?
I have major dental work, crowns, dentures.
And that buzzer takes place to Kitty Carlisle.
I thought it was kind of hard to have crowns and dentures both, but maybe you do. Number two, what's to prevent you from going to New Delhi for your optometrist and your orthopedic man in Fiji?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any friends in those places, to put me in contact with doctors.
Well, but for that kind of fringe benefits, a little effort is worthwhile, no?
Yes.
Number three, Have you tested this with the IRS?
Yes, I have.
And it's gone through?
Yes, it has.
Oh, that's absolutely gorgeous. Number one, what about your daughter? Now, she can't have all that much work to do at her age. Is it worthwhile her going to Germany, too, just to have a few fillings?
She went for orthodontic work.
Ah, that is worth it. I've had that for my children. That's worth it.
This whole thing sounds like a song title. I went to Galway for my gallstone. Let's go down to Tom Poston.
I was going to ask, too, as well, number two, what if you don't need major dental work? I mean, surely you can't need it every time. Number two, do you go to a dentist regularly?
Yes, I have a dentist at home, but this was going to be so major and so costly that when I heard the price from my dentist at home, I thought, well, there must be another way. So, I mean, I'll go to my regular dentist for regular checkups.
Thank you. Well, then, number three, how often do you do this? Is it just a one-time thing? Is that it?
No, I did it in 1959 when I lived in Germany, and I have done it in 1968, and we just did a recent trip this past Christmas.
Thank you. Number one, do the German...
And finally, we go to Peggy.
Okay, number two, how many crowns did you get?
Well, 6.
Number three, did you use porcelain crowns or gold crowns?
No, I didn't have any crowns. My work was done with gum.
Oh, gee willikers. But number one, you said your daughter went for orthodontic work. Well, now, I happen to have worn braces for 8 years. And I know that you have to go to the dentist once a month. Does your kid slip off to Cologne or wherever it is once a month?
No,
How often does she have to go over there for her braces to be tightened up?
not again.
Well, number one, who maintains the braces once she has them on?
She does not have the kind that they use in the States.
Oh, God, they've been ahead of us and everything. I don't know how we won the war. Number two, do they use Novocaine over there? Or is it painless, Parker, or not?
Yes, it's painless. It's just like, it's as painless as it is at home, or as painful.
Thank you. Number three, what city is this famous dentist in?
Kaiserslautern, Germany.
Oh, how terrific.
You get tooth trouble just from pronouncing that. But we have heard a little bell ring, and that means we have to mark our ballots, and we have to decide, do we think it's number one, or number two, or number three? We know what the penalties are, so we won't bother with that. If everybody has marked their ballots, Bill Cullen, we'll start with you.
You know, it gave me a tremendous idea. I know a great barber in Ceylon that I think I'm going to start going to every couple of weeks. I voted for number three.
We got a 3 showing, and Kitty.
Barbering is not allowed, but I voted for number 3. I thought she was the right one.
Pair of 3s, and Tom?
I voted for number 2.
Oh.
She's got a deep German suntan, and I thought maybe that would count.
And Peg.
Well, I think that it's worthwhile. 6 crowns, it costs an awful lot of cabbage, so I think it's number 2. And I don't believe that anybody has a brace that doesn't have to be checked once in a while. They used to call me Zipper Mouth.
When could ever that have been?
When I had braces all over my teeth.
The zipper must be getting terribly rusty. The votes are all in. And with the greatest of joy, will the real Louise Shaw please stand up? Yay! Great imposters. Great imposters, you have won $500. And number 2, tell us about yourself, please.
My name is Jeannie Friedman. I'm a housewife, and my son was number 1 in the fiddler spot.
And number 3, tell us about yourself, please. What's your real name? What do you do?
My name is Sylvia Cardell, and I am selling service manager for Bonwit Teller, 5th Avenue.
Louise Shaw, you and your teammates have done a marvelous job. Thank you very much for being with us on To Tell the Truth. Have a nice trip next time. Well, friends, we'd like to spend more time with you, but I have to go to Hong Kong for a hangnail, and so we'll see you the next time around, okay?
This is Johnny Olson speaking for to tell the truth. A Mark Goodson, Bill Condon production.
A number of people in this country are flying now and paying later to West Germany, and they're having their plates fixed while they're there. John Shand reports.
Some Americans have found out what to do when the dentist gives them an estimate that knocks their hats off. They fly to Germany and have the same dental work done for half the price or even less. Instead of paying for Dr. Moneybags' next vacation in Europe, they take the vacation themselves with the dentistry thrown in. Though German medicine in general tends to be old-fashioned, German dentistry ranks with the best in the world. It's modern and cheap. Americans find they can fly here, have their dental work done, and fly home again, and the cost of the whole trip, including hotels, meals, and the dentist bill, is still less than they would pay for their American dentist. One of the runaway patients is Mrs. Louise Shaw of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Could you give me an example of how much you can save for a particular type of dental work?
Well, let's take 1970 when I came over for crowns. My local dentist was going to do 6 crowns for $1,000, approximately. I made the trip, got the 6 gold crowns, stayed with friends, saved money that way, and I cut my dental bill in half.
Does the American Internal Revenue Service accept this as a medical expense?
They did that time. We could prove that we saved ourselves money and the American government money by bringing our business here.
And what about the other members of your family? Do they come here too?
Well, yes. My husband and daughter came this past Christmas. My daughter needed some orthodontic work done, and the bill was going to be fantastic, $2,000 in the States. Now, that would have been spread out over 2 or 3 years, but it was done here, and her transportation, staying in a hotel, the dental work, and her cost was about $400 against $2,000. And the dental work was beautiful. Her teeth are straightening up lovely.
It's still only a few people who have learned to beat the high cost of American dentistry by coming to Europe, but it raises visions of thousands of people asking their travel agent for a dentist appointment somewhere between Heidelberg Castle and this summer's Munich Olympics, or maybe even charter flights of snaggle-toothed American kids off on a holiday to save their parents some money in a German dentist chair. John Shand, CBS News, Bonn.
Now 13 and a half after the hour.